Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Up and Atom Comics. I hope everybody's doing well out there. Hopefully, you saw I got a new logo finally, so I drew a little piece of me as a superhero. So I thought that'd be kind of fun. But anyway, today, what I wanted to do was to talk a little bit about a comic and then show you something really cool that I was able to get for that. So. This came out a few weeks ago, and it's Doctor Doom and Rocket Raccoon. And as many of you know, I'm a huge Doctor Doom fan. I have just about everything that that I can find that he's been in. Um, but they put out these one shots, and Marvel is doing something where they said they're trying to pair people that are not normally together or you wouldn't expect a story from. Like I think there's Nick Fury and Fin Fang Foom, I think is a recent one that's come out. So, but anyway, this issue, and it's done by J. J. Michael Straczynski, is writing it, and pretty well-known writer for a lot of things. And then Will Robson drew the issue, and it's a really interesting story. Basically, to give a little quick teaser synopsis, Doctor Doom is uh, trying to answer the question why, and kind of why has he been like why has he faced all of this stuff in his life that has led to you know, the destruction of lots of things and, what is his purpose in the universe and that kind of thing. And so he says he wants to rely on kind of science and magic to try to help him discover the answer to that question, why. And so he's like, I got magic covered. But I needed to bring in Rocket Raccoon to help me with the science piece of it, which is kind of funny because he's also very good at science, but guess he wanted a second opinion. So anyway, so it kind of the story is is really cool as a one shot because you rarely get that kind of deep pursuit of the purpose of life kind of thing. Uh, in a single issue, and it's got a lot of, deep thoughts to it. So if you haven't picked that up, I would, highly recommend it just from a, if you're interested in philosophy or or what have you. But it was a really compelling story and really great throughout. Um, and one of the things that I thought was really cool about it, like I was really struck by the art in it that Will Robson did. And so one of the things that I was doing was, I mean, there's a crazy page there that kind of cycles through, and you can see some like little clips of things that have gone on in his past. There's some. I want to point out this page here that kind of tells a story about his mother, his father getting scarred and then seeking uh, basically um, the people that worked with him to give him his powers. And then on this page, it kind of goes through a retelling of some of his classic fights. He's got the FF, he's got the stealing the surfer's board. This is kind of a interesting one. You can see Galactus's head there, but that's basically Doctor Doom. I think it's from Fantastic Four, World's Greatest Magazine miniseries, where he kind of defeats Galactus there. And again, kind of another tribute there. But the art was really stunning in it. So as soon as the issue came out, I was kind of moved. By some of the art, and I was like, these are just some really cool pages. Like you get to see, Doom's castle, and some of that kind of stuff. So I was like, I am just going to look to see, is this art out there anywhere that I can? possibly purchase. And so I actually contacted the artist Will Robson, complimented him on what he had done, and then just wanted to ask, like, hey, do you happen to still have any um, art pages from that? And so he said yes. Um, and so we got to chatting a little bit. And he kind of asked, what I was interested in. And he traditionally, he said he had already sold one page. There was one page that he said he did traditional, on comic board with, traditional ways of pencil and inking. And he said he had already sold that piece, but a lot of the other pages were free. So I inquired about a couple of them, and we worked out a deal. And so I have them. So so I got this in the mail. Um, and it's not Mr. Brady's plans. If any of you uh, were Brady Bunch fans, I always think about when I see tubes like this, I think about Mr. Brady's plans, because there was I think episode or two-part episode or something where I want to say it was Greg that was working in the architect's firm of Mr. Brady, and he was in charge of getting his plans from one place to another, lost it. There's these tubes rolling down the street and different things like that. And it was kind of like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? So anyway, so I'm going to kind of untube. I guess it's not really unbox. Gosh, these things are really in here. So I'm excited to see what these look like. So, and the way that he did these were um, uh, basically digital artist proofs. So what that meant is he created all of this art digitally on his computer. He printed out this one copy, and then basically he said he printed out like a backup in case, because Will lives in the UK, and in case they didn't get to me, he would have the second set to send to me. But he's like, as soon as you get them, let me know, and I will destroy the others. So it's kind of like one-on-one. This is a way for digital artists to be able to sell some of their work. So I have a few other pieces that I've gotten that are also done this way. Usually some of the digital ones, because it's not the traditional inks and things like that, they're usually a little bit more affordable to get, because the digital artists know, like, hey, I worked in this means, and but it is a way to support people that are doing some digital art. So let's see what I got here. This looks so amazing. So I got that page that we're talking about with Doctor Doom. This is him, talking about his mother being tormented, which is a big part of Doom's um, history. His father, the mask, the where he had to get masked to hide his scars. And then that piece where he's getting kind of his mask and his powers there. And you can see over here that Will Robson signed it there. And he asked me, like, do you want me to sign it on the front or on the back? And I kind of like to have the front be signed, just because it's right there. And if I can go around to framing some of this, that you can see that the artist really signed it. So he put his signature and then one of one on there. So you can see, like, the word balloons aren't there. But I thought that was amazing, amazingly cool. But wait, there's more. So I actually also got that second page of his origin. Really, and that was what I thought was so cool. Is like, this is a retelling of Doom's origin. So there he is, fighting the Fantastic Four. His signature over there. There's the uh, Silver Surfer. stealing of the board, defeating Galactus there, and then just like utter power, Kirby crackle galore, and destruction. So I am really excited just about the quality of these prints and just how well everything shows up. So I am super excited about having those. Um, and one thing I think that, when I was talking to Will, I was thinking about like, oh man, I really want one of those pieces, but it was really hard to decide like which one do I go for. And then I was also thinking, I was like, these 2 pages, just because of, Doctor Doom at the bottom on both of them, and you can kind of see how they would go together, kind of using the same image in a different way. I was like, these 2 pages need to stay together. And so I talked to Will about that, and I was like, I feel like these need to stay together. So while I was thinking about one, we kind of worked a deal out. He gave me a deal on getting both of them, which was so super sweet of him. But I thought that was just a really cool thing, and I'm really glad to be the owner of these to be able to keep them together. I'm going to put them back in the tube for now, but I'm going to need to flatten these out. And then my thought is I will be getting a frame for them so that I can, it'll probably go hanging up in my office here somewhere. Just because I don't have art hanging up at the house. But I was really stoked to get this piece. And I love those kind of retelling of origin stories. I've also been looking at some Fantastic Four pieces that I've seen that have been done that kind of retell the origin. And I was like, oh, if I can get something like that, that's cool. And this is like retelling of my favorite character's origin. And I haven't seen a lot of those types of pages done before, especially to cover his whole history. So I was, utterly pleased when I read the comic, and I was like, oh my gosh, these pages are awesome. And those really stuck out to me. There were some great pages in there in terms of like, uh, you know, that had Doom or Rocket Raccoon. I also thought about that one with a castle on it in Latveria. I thought that was really cool. But that was when I saw those 2 pages, I was like, oh my gosh, those are glorious. So, and Will was super cool to work with and talk to. And I love the art. I know he's done a lot of inking in the past, but he really has some great, artistic and ability himself. So I'm glad this kind of showcased him, and to piece that with a Straczynski written story. I'm sure that was a joy to work on. So thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and let me know what you think in the comments. Like and subscribe if you like, and I'll see you in a future episode. Thanks. Take care.